good evening. It's been a week since the last F1 race. Almost a week since the British Grand Prix. We all saw what happened. Lewis Hamilton finally won a race. Lando Norris battling once again, McLaren battling once again, and Ferrari just looking terrible as before. Now I want to give you some food for thought here. When was the last time Charles Leclerc won a race? It was very recent. It was the Monaco Grand Prix. And this guy, he loves Monaco, he loves Ferrari. That's part of his life. Now I saw this image online on Twitter recently. And I saw this image of him, if you can see right now. It's an image of Charles Leclerc if he was in a McLaren. What do I personally think of it? Before I get to that, just from what I saw, some people saying, oh, Charles Leclerc would win 3 or 4 races in a McLaren. And then other people will say, oh, he's gonna complain, he's gonna hit up the Bahrainis. Oh yeah, he's gonna confront them about the strategy. Oh yes, just like Ferrari. Honestly, nothing's much gonna change really. Like, Charles Leclerc is gonna be trapped in like 3 or 4 wins. I know McLaren has one of the fastest cars, but if you really think about it, if you really dig it, Oscar Piastri is gonna get more wins because of that. More like 5 wins? Let me think. That sounds like an overstatement. I think it sounds like a big statement. I feel like if Leclerc were to come in, I think Leclerc would win at most 3 races. 3 races. Because let's not discount McLaren's strategy. Let's not discount that. No, I'm not discounting that ever. But I want to also make another thing clear though. Leclerc would excel in the McLaren. But here is one question I will let you consider first. Would Charles-Marc Percival Leclerc like to move to McLaren? Let me give you some context first. This is a boy who grew up with Ferrari. Many people in the world, they grew up with Ferrari, okay? But you see, this man's career has been Ferrari, Ferrari has been a part of his whole Formula 1 career. He was in the Ferrari Driver Academy. Ferrari picked him up in 2017. It was actually a very big gain over Lance Stroll. Because Stroll, in retrospect, he was not that promising for Scuderia. Yes, he would have performed better had he got an opportunity for the first team. But I can see why they were willing to let him go and drive for Williams with Daddy Stroll, because Lance did not have that talent. And yes, Ferrari is a good pressure cooker for Lance to actually develop some sense in his driving and his consistency, because Ferrari is so demanding and Lance could have excelled in that environment. But once again, I'm mimicking the ifs and the what ifs. Josh Revel once said, if is Formula 1 backwards, or if. F1 is if backwards. That's what Josh Revel said, not me. Now let's go back to Charles Leclerc. He would not want to move to McLaren. He would rather stay with Ferrari for the rest of his life. He lives Ferrari, he breathes Ferrari. He is the epitome of a Ferrari driver. Because there is one essential value that Ferrari has been missing for many a year, and that is loyalty. Michael Schumacher had no reason to leave Ferrari when he stayed there for a long time. But what about Charles Leclerc? He has many reasons to leave Ferrari. The difference, he chooses to stay in Ferrari. That's a very important distinction I want you to make. And then here's another thing as well. Charles Leclerc's loyalty could be the biggest gain or the biggest loss for his own career and his team. And if you actually think about it,
Leclerc ties his career a lot more with Scuderia Ferrari, with the organization that has been a part of his career for a long time. If there is any driver that epitomizes loyalty, it is Charles Leclerc, not Oscar Piastri. You see, Oscar, he was not being treated well by Alpine, and Alpine neither Alpine nor Renault have the prestige of Ferrari, have any reason for loyalty like Ferrari. They do not have that brand. Ferrari has that brand image. Ferrari has the pull, the attraction, the law of attraction. That is why Sir Lewis Hamilton is driving for Ferrari, because the allure, you cannot resist. He already made his mark at McLaren, Mercedes. Why not Ferrari? Why not Lewis step out of his comfort zone? And you know what? I think this is paying off. This might pay off, because I'll tell you, Lewis better have patience for Scuderia Ferrari, but this one I will talk maybe another time. But Charles Leclerc, he is the epitome of patience too. And yes, his patience will continue to be tested. But from the reports I'm reading, I think Fred Vasseur is going to stay. Because Leclerc is the reason why Fred Vasseur is in Ferrari. If not, he will still be in the Sauber. He will still be in the Sauber. And instead of Andrea Seidel, instead of Alumni Bravi leading the team, or whichever team principal might be next, it would still be Fred Vasseur. He would have the backing of Audi. But no, Fred was chosen to go to Ferrari because of Charles Leclerc, because of their existing relationship back in GP3. Yes, I know Leclerc never raced for ART, but at the time it was better to not race in ART. 2018 was different though. 2018 was different, but 2017 it was Prema dominance. And I still have my agenda on Prema. I'll discuss about it next time. But I want to mention this. Ever since the Junior Series, Ferrari have seen an amazing talent in this guy. And they have not left it behind. In fact, they're sticking with it. So what I'm gonna say though, will Charles Leclerc ever drive for McLaren? The simplest answer I will put is no. Force this guy to drive a McLaren, he'd rather take his own life. That's how committed this guy is to driving a Ferrari. You get me, man? You get me? I'd rather see this guy drive a Ferrari as a back marker than to drive for a McLaren and win the whole championship. Because there's something about Ferrari. Ferrari is a lifestyle. It's a bit like using Apple products, you know. Yes, Apple products have a convenience. But what about Ferrari? Ferrari, in a way, it is very complex, that is true. But there is a little element of simplicity. Because you see, for the average casual coming into Formula 1, the first thing that has to come into mind is Ferrari. Because they have been in Formula 1 ever since the 1950s. Ever since it started. Alfa Romeo has been in and out, now they're out. Mercedes has been in and out, they have a traumatic history. McLaren didn't come in until Bruce McLaren come in. Frank Williams, there you see Frank Williams. And then there's also Honda. Honda is a bit like going in and out of Formula 1. But Ferrari has always been there. And that's why I actually think Charles Leclerc finds a lot of value in staying with Scuderia Ferrari rather than joining another team like Mercedes or McLaren. Because I'm gonna be frank with you here. I'm gonna be frank. What did Ferrari gain when Mercedes and McLaren got into trouble? Mercedes got into trouble in 2005 when they could not build a reliable engine for McLaren and especially Kimi Raikkonen. What did Ferrari gain? Ferrari didn't gain much actually. 2005 was shit. But in 2006, when they all transitioned to the V6, they were excelling. They were close to winning. Ferrari were close to winning, but at the end they just could not overcome the last hurdle, which was Renault and Fernando Alonso. But still, they challenged for the title, whereas McLaren did in 2005, but they did not have the capacity, they did not have the facilities for that, big man. But at the end of the day, Ferrari were not as far back in 2006 as McLaren in 2005. And I also want to make one thing clear on this. I will never forget 2007. If 2007 had not happened, we could have seen Charles Leclerc in a McLaren when he's in his 30s or 40s. But the problem is that McLaren, they never have that allure, that aura. Because let's face it, look at the history books. Look at the bigger picture. When I look at the bigger picture, McLaren are a tiny speck in the car industry. They do not have the allure. They are like the Tag Heuer to the Rolex. And the Rolex is Ferrari. Rolex is the most famous watch in the world. So let me finish this off with the facts. I don't think Charles Leclerc finds any big benefit besides now, because I think his visions are long term. So anyway, it's a bit of a waffle there, but yeah, thanks for watching. I honestly think this will never happen in my lifetime, so yeah, he'll be a Ferrari. Forza Ferrari. Thank you. Peace.